Hi, my name is Enda Murray. I'm the director of the Irish Film Festival. I'm delighted to be joined tonight by Luke and Jake Morgan. Luke is director, and both Luke and Jake are the writers of FROGGIE. Luke and Jake, to Fáilte Roimh, you're very welcome to Fáilte Roimh Cigan Austral.
Garmog Enda, too. How are you?
Tommy Gamai. So, lads, you guys are in, whereabouts are you in the world today?
We're in Brazil. We're in the southern hemisphere. We're in the same hemisphere as you guys. Location scout for our next film, our next feature film, Augusto.
Fantastic. Great stuff. So, dus an drehar shiv an will sha an road to rugger le gaelga no.
No, ní ramer rugger le gaelga ach rinnemer Eric Connor quid gaelga a fiausu. So we did not grow up with Irish, but we're passionate about the Irish language. So we made an effort to learn Irish in as adults, and we decided to put our money where our mouth was with respect to filmmaking, and that's why we made FROGGIE as Gaeilge.
So tell us about how FROGGIE came about. Tell us the origin story of the film.
Well, when we were kids, we had a toy frog called FROGGIE. It was rather uninspiring, the name. But we had a formula for creating names for our toys. The name of the animal with an E at the end. So it was FROGGIE. There was, very innovative.
Yeah.
So yeah, when creativity came later in life. When it came to kind of deciding what project we were going to align ourselves with, we had a window of about a month to shoot something. So we developed a screenplay based loosely around, our own lives and our own fears and our own struggles. And, the experience of being on an artistic journey with your own brother is something that we obviously feel is authentic and is our story to tell. So there's a lot of bumps in the road as an artist, and FROGGIE is about the artist's journey, but it's ultimately about the love that exists between brothers.
And can you remember at what point did you know that you were going to go ahead and make the film in terms of like trying to get it up off the ground? Was there a point which you thought, right, this is going to happen?
Yeah, we've spent our entire life and with a run and gun style mentality to making films. We haven't really been interested in sitting around and waiting for people to give us the permission to make stuff. So we've always made stuff on a leaner budget and with a passionate crew. And so FROGGIE was no different. So we managed to save up a small amount of money in order to shoot the film. It was shot on a shoestring, really. But it's an entirely independent film. And so we kind of just decided that we were going to do it. And conditions were perfect. The crew that we wanted to work with were available. The cast were into it, and they were ready to go. So it just became like, okay, we have this month ready to go. Let's just make it work. So we just jumped straight into it. There was a certain amount of making it up as we go along as well with respect to the schedule, and because there are a lot of locations. So it was a challenge and it was stressful, but we're happy to be here talking to you today, having with the film screening at the Irish Film Festival in Australia.
And tell us about the challenges of first-time feature, making a feature film as first-time director.
Well, we actually had made a feature film a couple of years beforehand for like €2,000, which we don't really count as being a first feature because it was just so bonkers. So we had already, but it was important in that we did believe we could do it. We believed we could, we could get to the end of the tunnel. And but challenges there were many. We didn't have the proper funding to do this. So we had to beg, borrow, and steal. We had to cash in on a lot of favors that we had of relationships that we'd built up over the years. Everybody who worked on the film was paid, but still, the money we had to actually put on screen was very, very limited. So, the limitation of the money was really the biggest challenge. And but necessity is the mother of invention, as they say. And with a bunch of people working together to believe in a project, it really came together in the end.
And did you have any challenges signing up great actors and telling them that they were going to star opposite a green felt puppet?
Actually, we wrote the script with Sean T. O'Malley in mind, so we were delighted when he was interested in appearing in the film. But we wrote the script without knowing that he was a puppeteer.
Yeah, it was a coincidence that he had done a lot of puppet work.
Yeah, so he read the script, and we had our first call with him. He said, "Did you know that I was a puppeteer?" And we were like, "No." And so that was kind of, that coincidence really solidified the energy and the excitement of the potentially working together.
Did you have any special moments that you recall from the shoot that you would like to share with us?
Well, I mean, Carrie Crowley of On Colleen Kuhn fame, we managed to convince her to join the team just on the strength of the script. And this was a big deal for us because we had all obviously been enamored with Carrie's performance. We were all enamored with her performance in The Quiet Girl. And we were really, really excited to have her join the team. So I remember the first day of shooting with Carrie was quite special. It was special for us. It was special for Sean. But then just generally working with Sean and Garoj and Lucia and Paul.
And Jeremy DeFucci was good crack as well.
Yeah. There were a lot of moments because it's a comedy, you need buy-in from every angle of the crew and the cast. And, we were blessed with such a brilliant cast. There were moments where we were creasing ourselves laughing, but we couldn't laugh because the cameras were rolling. And then once the camera stopped, everybody you had that fresh release of laughter. These are the moments that you remember like years into the future.
And you mentioned the artist's journey, and I felt looking at the film and reading about you guys is that there's probably you were drawing on some of your own experience. Would that be right?
It rhymes with reality, is what we say. It's not the truth, but it is true, if that makes sense. It's not our story, but there's a lot of elements that we drew upon based on our experience, and our somewhat of our fears of like maybe not getting anywhere, with our art. And then, the whole message of the film is sort of accepting that there are more important things than that, but yeah, there was definitely a lot of inspiration. There's a lot of inside jokes that an Irish audience will kind of resonate with. So we had the crack kind of writing the script and trying to figure out, what's the best way to communicate the story. And a puppet obviously was the way. So we love puppets in Ireland with like Justin the Turkey and Bosco and all.
Oh, Bosco.
Zig and Zag. I was at the I was at the premiere in Galway, and it was great to be in the room with such a lot of people who obviously had a great love for you and a great love for the film. What do you hope audiences take away from the film?
We'd love audiences to be infected by the energy with which the film was made. We didn't have all the money in the world. We were the small little film that could. And we'd love audiences that, even though they might think that some of the production value is rough around the edges, that they actually acknowledge that there's a real beating heart at the center of the film that you can't fake. And that's the spirit with which we made the film. And we hope that translates on screen with audiences. And we've been thrilled to take this film around the world. We've shown it in Luxembourg, we've shown it in Santa Barbara in the United States, and people who have no Irish or people who have never been to Ireland, we were worried that they wouldn't get the comedy because there's so much of the film that's not just uniquely Irish but uniquely Galway. But to our surprise and our pleasant surprise, people have managed to grasp what the film has been about, and they've managed to enjoy, even some of the jokes that we didn't think were going to land. So that's what our hope for the film would be with audiences.
So is it where was the film shot?
Oh, the film was all shot in Galway. Every bit of it was shot in Galway, and it was made with a Galway team behind the camera and mostly in front of the camera as well. So it's a very Galway film.
Can you tell us what projects you have got in the pipeline? You mentioned already now that you're in Brazil. Can you tell us anything about this project that you're working on now?
Yeah, we've been thrilled to receive development funding for our next feature film from Screen Ireland, and also from the Creative Europe Media Project. So this is a co-production between Ireland, Portugal, and Brazil. It's a very exciting project. It's the same tone, the heartwarming comedy. That's the tone that we love. It's about a spider that can control the weather. So we are currently developing the script, and we're here in Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo conducting a technical scout to see, not just locations, but trying to meet production partners here in Brazil. I don't think there's ever been, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's ever been a co-production between Ireland and Brazil when it comes to film. So we're really trying to forge a way to do this, and there are challenges involved in that. But, the great thing about film is we all speak the same language, no matter where we are in the world. And where there's a will, there's a way. And we definitely think we're going to be back here, hopefully in 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years, rolling cameras on this very ambitious project.
Great. So, Luke and Jake, Goramila Mayagov, and thanks a million for making FROGGIE and making us laugh, and thanks a million for taking part in the Q&A, and good luck with the future projects. Goramila Mayagov, Slán agus Bannacht.
Goramila Mayagov, Slán.